Hey guys, welcome to Tick Back Time. My name is Leonard and today I'm doing a long-term review of my Seiko Coral Blue Sumo, the SBDC069. So this model has been in the market for a few years now, and I think it's still important for me to share my long-term experiences with this watch. And the reason why that is because the new Sumos had come out for a year or so, and I'm not sure how long they will still have this watch in the market. This is a JDM only, a Japan domestic market only release. So you do have to either get it online, or perhaps if you have a local shop that brings in JDM pieces, you could try there as well. Okay, so it is a little bit of a unicorn now. It's a bit hard to find, but I think there are still sellers who have these brand new in stock. Okay, so this watch I've had it for 2 years now, and let me get into the specs as usual before we delve into my thoughts on it. So it runs the 6R15 movement, the Seiko 6R15 caliber, and it has a 45mm case width with a lug-to-lug distance of 52.6 and a thickness of 12.9. The lug width over here is 20mm. So the glass on this watch is a hardlex crystal, it's not a sapphire crystal, and it has an aluminium bezel insert. This watch also has a signed crown, and on the original clasp it comes with a diverse extension over here. So alright, so that out of the way, let me first explain to you why I changed the clasps, okay? Because this watch is a very heavy watch. I'm sure you can tell it is a 45mm case width watch, and it does translate to a bit of a heft on your wrist. So when I wear this watch, what happened was this diverse extension, which is actually over here, it started digging into my wrist, and it hurt when I wore it for long periods of time. So it could be the way I wear it, maybe I wear it too tight, or maybe I wear it too loose, but I did not find it comfortable at all. I used to have these indentations over here. So what I did was I went to AliExpress. So you can go to your favorite, China wholesale or China discount store online and purchase these aftermarket clasps. I think this is 18mm across. Yep. So I think it's 20mm here, and it tapers down to 18mm. So as long as you get an 18mm clasp, you'll be good to go. I just swapped it out and it wears so much more comfortably now. So let me put this on wrist for you, okay? So this is a quick wrist shot. So as you can see now, it's sitting a lot better as compared to the stock clasps. So if I had left it with the stock one, it would look something like this, and this is what I mean about the diverse extension digging into your wrist. The strange thing is I've had many Seiko divers in the past with this style clasps, and they were very comfortable. I don't know why this watch gave me problems. It could be due to the weight. I suspect that should be the reason and the case of why I find this so uncomfortable. Alright, so if you do have the same problem as me, don't dismiss this watch. Keep in mind that there are aftermarket solutions to your problem. Always experiment, always enjoy the process of finding these solutions, okay? So in terms of the bezel action, this is where this watch is a real letdown. Let me shut up for a moment and you guys can hear how the bezel sounds. Did you hear that? It's just so tinny feeling, it does not have nice clicks. Okay, I would say they are clicks, but they are you can imagine that metal pin clicking away instead of having nice solid tucks. You have click 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 click. So that is something that I really feel is a letdown of this watch. And in addition, the way it's designed, it is so difficult to grip with slightly sweaty palms like I have. It is very difficult to turn the bezel dry now, on dry land. What more so if you were to use it for water sports, or for scuba diving or whatnot. So I think that's a letdown, but to be honest, most of us are desk divers. We don't take our watches anywhere near water other than washing our hands. So for those of you who want to use this as a real dive watch, just keep that in mind, alright? So next, I'm going to talk about the accuracy on this watch. I've had it for around 2 years now, and it has been giving me around plus 10 to plus 11 seconds a day. That is not atrocious, but most of my Seiko watches out of the box, they get about plus 6 seconds a day. So I think it could be a little bit better. Of course, I can regulate it and make it a little bit more accurate. But I just want to give you guys my impression of the box of the watch out of the box. I know a lot of people don't like tinkering with the movement and they don't like doing things to their watch, and a lot of people don't know how to as well. So this is what I've been getting. I think it's still acceptable. For me, if it goes beyond plus 15 seconds a day, I would take issue with that, because in just 4 days you can see that your watch is way ahead of the actual time. Or if the watch loses time, that's something that I can't accept as well. If it gains time, it's fine, but if it loses time, it's going to result in you getting late to meetings, being complacent with your time, thinking you have a lot when actually your watch is just slow, okay? So, after all of that, do I recommend this watch to you? And my answer will be yes. And this watch has many flaws. It has a hardlex crystal, it has an aluminium insert, it has an uncomfortable clasp. But in Seiko 3 years ago, I believe that was the pinnacle of the Seiko charm. Back then, everyone were obsessed with monsters, sumos, turtles. And nowadays, you see that kind of passion slowly dying down, and I'm not sure why that is. But if I were to hazard a guess, it's because Seiko made certain upgrades to their models. For example, this Sumo now, the newer models, they have a sapphire crystal on it, and they have the upgraded 6R35 movement, which to me, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter to the consumer, honestly. The sapphire crystal, yes, a lot of people have been complaining about that, and Seiko did upgrade, and is a welcome change. But for that change, they're charging so much more. They're charging like $200-300 more for a new Seiko Sumo, and they're trying to make it look a little bit more tame. You look at these numbers over here, the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. They are big, bold, and ugly. A lot of people find them ugly, but that is part of the charm of the Sumo. It is a very huge, bubbly, fat-looking watch, which people like, people adore. But the new Sumos, these are slimmed down. They're trying to be more conservative in design, and I think that's a very wrong move. Of course, this is all very subjective, and this is just my opinion. But I think Seiko, when they used to really dominate the market in terms of affordable watches, people go for the Seiko charm, and this is what I'm talking about. You just look at the whole package on a whole. Even with the hardlex crystal, even with the aluminium insert, many people still find this watch or these watches of the time, maybe 3-4 years ago, the Seiko Monsters, which was hideous looking things. But I loved the monsters at the time, and I was quite a monster collector as well, but I don't have one now because like I said, times have changed and tastes have changed. And also I think Seiko, by increasing their prices to around $1,000 for the Sumo, for example, you're losing out to a lot of new strong micro brands. As you know, on this channel, I love my Zelosas as well, and that is a good example of a micro brand that is bypassing Seiko in terms of the value proposition. And when you're talking about affordable watches, you are really trying to see what you get in return for your money. And Seiko, they used to be able to ride on their quirkiness, ride on their fun, cool designs. But now these micro brands, they come out, they offer sapphire crystals, they offer titanium cases with equally cool and funky designs. And that is where Seiko is slowly losing market share. All right. So this particular watch, I think is a very charming watch. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it because, like I mentioned, my tastes have changed. I now prefer smaller watches. So I guess it wears okay on my wrist. But if I were to go down to smaller watches, like 40 millimeters and below, then this watch is definitely way too large for that. But somehow I can't really bring myself to sell this as well. It just has this charm, It's just like if you have an orange monster, the first generation or second generation orange monster. I don't think you'll be able to bring yourself to sell that because it is what Seiko really meant to us who first started out in the hobby maybe 5 years ago or perhaps even 10 years ago. So all in all, I think that Seiko is still a great watch company, but they're slowly losing who they are. They're losing their identity by charging these exorbitant prices, by trying to conform to what they think the market wants, by making the design a little bit more conservative. And if I'm not mistaken, this very important point as well, the new Sumos do not have a signed crown. I mean, that is really not acceptable to me. I think this is part of the appeal of having something like the Sumo, But I guess this is because it's a JDM release as well. So perhaps the other Sumos, they don't have sign crowns. I'm not too sure on that, but I will say this. I think that this is the generation of Seiko Sumo, Seiko monsters that really stood out to me, and I'm pretty sad to see that it has evolved into what it is today. So please share your thoughts in the comment section below, whether you think that Seiko has lost their identity, has lost who they are, and or whether you think I'm wrong, whether you think the price increase is justified with the changes that they have made. So as usual, if you like the video, please give me a like, and if you could support me, please subscribe to my channel as well. That will really help me out. All right, thank you guys, see you on the next video.